for part 2 of our testimony series. Today we're going to be talking about our elementary years, so like pretty much for us like kind of like 5, around the age of 5, 6, up until grade 8, which is like 14?
Yeah.
13, 14?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so the first question is, how did being in school with your peers change you as a person?
So when I was in elementary school, I got bullied from grade like 5-ish to like grade 8, and really it kind of changed me for the not better, because like I was very closed offish to begin with because of what happened before in my childhood, which is still now in elementary school, but in like before elementary school, that kind of made me closed offish to begin with, and then I got bullied, so that made me kind of even more shut down, shut out, and like I just kind of felt numb, and I kind of learned that I wasn't allowed to be like quiet or the odd one out, and it wasn't acceptable to be that person in your school.
Well, for me, at the beginning, like, I just loved school, and I was so, like, talkative. I had so many friends, and, like, it was awesome. And, like, I mean, it's a big gap, like, from kindergarten all the way to grade 8. Like, I changed so much, and, I think also, like, Chloe, I changed for the worse, and, like, I became, sometimes I was, like, a really not nice person, and, I just kind of did what people wanted me to do, kind of thing. So yeah, I think that at the beginning, especially, yeah, like at the beginning and throughout the middle, pretty much right until the end, like I was a follower and I was a people pleaser, and I just wanted people to like me. Okay, and then the second question is just to talk about bullying, because that's like something that happens majorly in public school, elementary school, and just kind of talk about bullying and your experiences with it.
So like bullying for me wasn't just like straight up like you're this, you're that. It was like, it was that in the end, like in grades 7 and 8 and 6 kind of, but in grade 5 it started with like these girls who were like really nice to me, and they wanted to be my friend, and then they would just kind of leave me out of things. Like they would be my friend one minute, and then it was like hot and cold. Like one minute they'd be my friend, and then the next they'd be like, oh yeah, just get out of here, you're like stupid. And like I had like 1 or 2 physical issues with bullying, but like I don't want to go into detail with that. But yeah, it's just not a fun experience.
And for me, I kind of dealt with bullying on both sides. So, like the first few years, like when you're little, like everyone just plays, it's cool. I think the first time that I remember being bullied was in grade 3, when boys would like kind of pick on me and stuff, you know, like not super major stuff, but it just kind of affected me. And then I think I just kept on kind of getting pushed around a little bit, like not major, because I still had a lot of friends and stuff, but and then eventually I think that I was like, I don't want people to tell me that I'm not good anymore. And then so I kind of, no, I wasn't like this huge bully, but I wasn't a nice person to some people, and like I still had my friends and we were like good and whatever, but I wasn't very nice to other people, and so I was bullied and I was a bully. And then I think I kind of grew out of that by the time we got to like grade 6, and I didn't really deal much with bullying after that, I don't think, very much.
The next question is, how did your personality change?
I think that going into school kind of made me care less about God. I grew up in a small town. There was only 36 people in my graduating class, but out of those, there's maybe like 5 who went to church regularly, and I was probably the only one who really, whose family was really serious about their faith. So I think just being around that totally non-Christian atmosphere really changed me into someone who just didn't really care and didn't like see a point in it, I guess. So like as I got older in elementary school, I kind of cared less about God. I acted like a little church girl on Sundays and like when I was at home, but at school no one would really know the difference between me and anyone else.
Well, like when I started going to school, I was pretty, I don't know, I was kind of to myself, but I think that I was able to like be happy in some ways. And then like as I kind of kept going, it just became harder and harder to be that. And just, I don't know, like I went from like this like kind of outgoing little girl to this kind of shell of a girl type thing. So
another question is, what Christian influences and ties did you have at this point in your life?
I guess that I still had the Catholic Church, which isn't Christian, so I don't know why I'm even bringing that up, but that was the closest thing I had to like that kind of influence. So and then I had my neighbors who were like, they went to church and stuff. They went to like Christian evangelical church, and you know, they were nice people, but that's pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah, mine isn't much different than it was in my early childhood. I still like my family and my church, just those influences, but they didn't influence me that much. Actually, they really didn't influence me because there was more non-Christian influences that were pulling me away from it.
Number 5 is, what was your home life like? Pretty much the same as the one before.
Well, my home life was pretty much the same. Like, my parents got along. My parents fought sometimes. I think that they dealt with a lot more negative emotions than they do now. So they would fight sometimes, not major or anything. And like, I got along with my siblings pretty well. Like, I would fight with my brother. We're only a year and a half apart, so we're pretty close. But other than that, it was fine. I had a good home life.
And mine is kind of like the polar opposite of that. We're very like opposite, which is cool.
Yeah.
So my home life, it kind of went down as well. It was like a slow decline, but not very slow. My dad lost his job when I was like probably like 9 or 10, and we almost ended up selling the house, and I was wearing like boy hand-me-downs, and like that kind of made everything worse. It made like the drinking happen more, and like things like that, like just it got like a lot more intense. So like that made it worse, I guess you could say. It just went worse from when I was a child before school.
Okay, and then number 6 again is just highs and lows of this elementary time of our life.
Like I guess the high would be that like I did have like 1 or 2 friends in like usually in all the years of my school. Like there was always like 1 or 2 guys who were like seeking up for me because my brother was kind of intimidating. I think that he made it clear that he'd probably beat them up if he didn't. So that was kind of nice.
Probably my high was kind of the same as Chloe. Like I had friends like the whole way through, people who stuck by me, and like my friends changed, and I kind of became friends with people and lost some friends. But yeah, like I had a lot of friends, and I, for the most part, found it easy to be happy.
Just like the lows would be like my home life, and like I would go home and then it would be bad, and then I'd go to school and it would be bad, and there was no like medium where I could just be like happy little kid like I was supposed to be. And like I guess I grew up too fast maybe because of what I experienced, so that's a low.
I think lows for me were the points that I realized that I was becoming someone that I didn't like, and you know, I would tease people because I didn't want to be teased.
Question number 7 is, what did you learn?
I think that I learned that, like, again, this is wrong, but I kind of learned that Christianity didn't really matter, and I didn't really care about it. Like, that's kind of a main thing that I took away from elementary school. And like, I also kind of learned that a good thing I learned was that it matters how you treat people, and you can't treat people badly. And yeah, like just because you're being bullied, you can't bully other people. Like I kind of took that away from elementary school.
Something that I learned is just like different people obviously deserve different things, I guess you could say. Like if you are popular, then you deserve, you know, people who like you, and if you're cool, then that's what you deserve. You deserve like popularity and that kind of thing. And if you're not, then that's not what you deserve. You don't deserve anything. And like I guess that I kind of thought that I didn't deserve like something good. That like, I don't know, that I could trust my brother, I guess, because like he was definitely my main supporter. He was my #1 fan of life.
Okay, so that kind of sums up our elementary part of our testimonies.
Yep.
And we are going to get into the high school years in our next video, so you got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye!